Hello, my love, and welcome back. Today, I want to share about some of the things that I have done over the years to hit my biggest income months. So, the same processes that I used when I wanted to have my first 10K month in my business, my first 20K month, and even my first 60K month. And I'm going to be 100% honest about the ups, the downs, the things I tried that didn't work, as well as the things that actually supported me in this. And if I remember, I'll also share some of the things I wish I had known sooner. Okay. So I want to start by just inviting you to think of any kind of income goal or money goal that you have for yourself right now. Because as much as you think a certain number maybe seems far off or challenging or like this big thing to step into, every single time you reach that, then you're going to have another number. So the numbers that I'm sharing for myself and the numbers that you have as your own goals actually matter a lot less than the beliefs and the energetics and the aligned actions that you're taking. So we want to decrease the importance of the number itself so that it just feels normal and easy and safe and like an everyday occurrence for you. So I have had incredible money manifestations in my life even before having my business, and throughout the last 6 years while having it, right? So I've had lots of days where there hasn't been any money coming in, and lots of times where I've been financially struggling, literally couldn't pay my rent, and I was picking mangoes off the ground in Australia, $25 left in all my savings accounts, like literally nothing else. My cards maxed out, no available credit, and that was all I had was the $25. And I've also had like $15,000 days and huge shifts in my income that seem so easy and so magical. And they're something that I'm currently in the process of normalizing even more, and expanding into even more in next levels. But I want to get into like the juicy details of things that I did along the way. What you're going to notice is that a common theme I always talk about is about becoming the version of you who already has it. Neville Goddard talks about it as acting as if. When we look at quantum theory, quantum realm, quantum jumping, identity shifting, reality creation, law of assumption, law of attraction, manifestation tools, right? Any of it. Majority of the time, they're going to tell you to focus on the end result and do whatever you need to do to jump into that, to become that. Detaching from the how and needing to know all the answers immediately, and then just being open to how it all plays out. But knowing that it's done, knowing that it's guaranteed, knowing that it's destined, and acting from that place. So when I had my first 10K month in my business, I had been up and down for ages. And at that point, I had manifested a job doing some co-coaching for someone else in the coaching space. And that was helping bring in consistent like $3,000 to $4,000 months. And then my business sales and coaching program was like the icing on the cake every month as well. If I had a sale, then it was bonus. If I didn't, I still had the $3,000 or $4,000 from the co-coaching. What I started to do though, because I really wanted to step into a $10,000 month, is that I got into the frequency, the mindset, the beliefs of what that version of me would look like. And a lot of times, because of how we've been taught that money is hard and you have to hustle, we think we have to work harder to make more. But if that were true, then there would be a lot more millionaires on the planet, right? There's so many people who work so hard and are incredibly underpaid or unsupported financially. So effort doesn't equal more money. We know that, right? And yet that's such a deeply programmed belief. So when I actually sat with that, I realized, wait a minute, I am like hustling right now. I'm over creating, overworking, trying to find all these strategies. I'm doing all these things from lack. And if I already had the $10,000 month, I'd be chill. I'd be so relaxed. I'd feel so supportive and supported and safe. And I'd just be like creating, but from inspiration and excitement and wanting to help people. There would be no kind of desperation or neediness towards money. So I really encourage you to look at, where are your energetics actually like operating from a place of lack and neediness? And is that also then holding you back and potentially sabotaging what you really want? So I started to take the actions each day of actually simplifying and opening up space and spending more time on the things I love that I would be doing if I already had a $10,000 month. And this took faith, because it was really scary to let go of my overworking and to let go of that mental, maybe ego need to do more and make sure it's guaranteed and keep working hard until I have proof. So I had to really lean back and trust in the energetics and trust in the unseen realms. Okay. I also started to stretch things. So a lot of times we see this, and I want to make a disclaimer because this can be scary and this doesn't always work for everyone. And I've had times where it hasn't worked, but this is an instance where it did work. When you actually stretch yourself, then a lot of times you are expanding your capacity to receive. So at the time before the $10,000 month, I was paying about $1,200 or $1,800 for rent each month. And that was a lot because I had been paying less than that beforehand. So, and I was in a ton of credit card debt. So it was already a big stretch for me. But this room opened up for $2,000 and something, closer to $3,000 a month. And that was like insane to me because I wasn't successful. I wasn't sustaining any income. I only had the $3,000 to $4,000 guaranteed, right? So I had no proof that I'd have anything extra if I stretched into that. But I knew that having a bigger space, having things decorated the way that I want, having the space each day to be in my own energy, to do my practices, to be in a more abundant frame of being, would actually support me in bringing in more. So this is where we kind of look at taking the leap before the proof is there or before you're ready. And so I thought to myself, if I were already making $10,000 this month, I would pay for that room. I would not be afraid about what that cost is because I'd have $7,000 extra, right? Which could cover all my other things and start my savings, etc. So I started to act from the version of me who already had it, and I committed, I stretched, I moved into that room, and that was the first month that I had the $10,000 month. Because as I was in there, I did more of my breath work, I did more of my quantum healing hypnosis, my reprogramming work. I uncovered a lot of different ways that I had been in lack and scarcity and fear and not really believing in myself, right? And some self-sabotaging tendencies. And I really had the chance to tune in more to the queen energy that I was starting to embody and really feeling worthy and like I mattered and like I deserved to feel good and have good things. So saying yes and stepping into something that forced me to expand and kind of forced me to call myself up and also call the universe or God or the divine to support in that as well. One thing that I've heard so many times from every single mentor I've worked with, and I've worked with a handful of millionaire and multi-millionaire mentors, and they always talk about standards and how the standards that you set determine the life you get. If I had kept my standards of I can't afford that room, I can barely afford the room I'm currently in, I don't have enough money, I'm not sure how more money is going to come in, right? If I had held that as my normal, I would have stayed there and I would have never expanded and grown. We see this a lot where people don't leave their job because they're setting the standard that that's the only thing that can provide for them. But when you expand your standard and you set a higher standard, which is, I desire more, I'm ready for more, I'm stepping into more, I'm boldly claiming more, and I'm going to do whatever I need to rise up to that. But I'm also setting the standard for my energetic vortex, for my power as a reality creator, that this is what is my new normal and my new minimum. Like, I'm not available for less than that. You have now shifted an entire energetic frequency as well as all your belief patterns and your past programming to match the new standard. Okay? So that is like the secret sauce. So then let's jump and fast forward. It wasn't a year later. 8 months though. I took a break and paused everything. I went and wrote a book and I enjoyed my time in Scotland. I was in a really deep grief, heartbreak, healing vortex and writing vortex. And then I started to anchor in, you know what, I want to have a $20,000 launch. I want to feel what that's like. And I want to see that it's possible because I believe it is. I see all these other coaches and healers scaling their businesses. I have an incredible program. I've helped so many women already. I know that there are more who need this. How can I expand into a $20,000 month? The process was the exact same in terms of needing to release any of the outdated beliefs, any of the outdated habits each day, and align with, if I already had a $20,000 launch, if this was guaranteed, how would I be showing up each day? What would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? Where would I be going, right? I probably would pay for my $3 coffee or whatever. I was in Mexico, and my $10 breakfast, and I wouldn't be worried about, oh, there goes more money again. I haven't made a sale yet today. How am I going to afford this? Can I do this, right? All of those doubts. If I already had the $20,000, I wouldn't have those thoughts. I would be using my credit card with gratitude and excitement and saying, thank you so much for this nourishing meal, or thank you so much for this investment that's going to assist what I'm stepping into, right? I was actually paying a mentor at that time who I had just started working with, a business coach, and I was paying $3,000 a month for a year for this coach. And that was part of it, of like, I would pay this money with gratitude, because if I'm making $20,000 back, then a $3,000 investment for her guidance and help and being in her energetic container is worth it, right? There's no fear, there's no lack. I'm just fully embodying the desired reality. I also really started to think of like, what are some of the things I would do with this that feel exciting to me? So just paying off more debt kind of felt like obligation, and it didn't feel as exciting. But thinking about like, you know what, I really want to buy a nice pair of sunglasses because I haven't had any in years. I'm living in Mexico. I want to do that, right? Having the idea of like, oh, this is gonna like assist me in drinking even more juices each day, and I'll be able to pay my incredible team members more money and support them for what they're doing for me, because I won't be in scarcity or fear or lack. So even when I would falter or when I didn't have the proof yet of it happening, I held the vision and I held the frequency of, this is guaranteed. I don't know how, but it's happening. And I remember I started doing a launch. I was following a completely new strategy. I had no proof if it would actually work for me, if I would be good enough or if I was doing it right. But I held the vision, And I remember I was hosting this kind of masterclass thing, and one of the days I didn't feel super excited to show up because I felt like it's not gonna work. I don't know if anyone's even gonna be here, if anyone's gonna listen or care about what I have to say. I had all these limiting beliefs and doubts creeping in. And then I tapped into that again of like the version of me who had this incredible launch, her biggest launch yet. Would she be thinking those things? Or would she be showing the F up, excited and empowered? If she already had sales, how would she be speaking? What would she be like exuding, and the energy she'd be radiating outwards, right? I really want you to understand that wealth is a frequency. We think it's physical, tangible money, but it's not. It's what you are embodying. And at the end of the day, the only thing that we actually really have is our soul, our essence, our energy, the consciousness, the thing that we are, right? It's not just our physical body, it's like our energetic body as well. And that is naturally abundant. That is naturally magnetic and beautiful and radiant. So if we're focusing only on the physical, tangible money, then we're always going to feel like we don't have enough. And there's always going to be more to chase after, which is what I found each time I hit these goals. For a while, I struggled to sustain it because it was almost like, like this is so big, this is so new to me, the $20,000 month. Actually, that one wasn't as bad. The $10,000 month, though, I had the client come in, the extra thing, a pay in full here, and suddenly I had my $10,000 month. So easy. And I remember being shocked by how easy it was. And then I manifested, my laptop broke. My iPhone broke, and suddenly I was living in LA, and I was like, well, I like to just buy the phone because I travel a lot, so I don't like doing a plan with a company. I don't have a SIM card or a number, I just want the phone. So I had to buy the phone and the laptop to replace the old ones. And I think I had already hired someone to help with marketing or something for my business because I thought, wow, $10,000 came in. Let's invest it to build and scale from here. But the $10,000 came in and then it went out almost immediately. And this is a perfect example of what happens when we haven't really fully upgraded our baseline or our identity. When you see yourself as steady, consistent X number months, then your whole vibrational frequency in your field is open and able to hold that. Also, if you have a lot of wounded masculine energy, you might struggle to hold it and ground it in. And at the time, I was going through immense healing towards the masculine and major wounding with that. That's another story. So when you actually hold it and you feel safe to receive it and you fully feel worthy of having it, then it can stay and then it can sustain. But I see this, and I've seen it a ton with clients and women I've supported over the years, is that if they still feel afraid of it, or they've got underlying things going on and imposter syndrome, then they might actually sabotage energetically, not intentionally, and lose the money or manifest a bill just as quick. Okay? So these are just a few of the things that I shifted in that time, and I was constantly doing the work of the deep reprogramming, the quantum healing hypnosis, every single day. More important than working for 8 hours a day and hustling and putting in all these hours of effort, more important than that was the energetic and the subconscious rewiring to align with, hey, this is my new normal. Hey, how does it feel to receive this? hey, even though this has been your truth for years now, or you've never had that before, what if we can program that in? And what if we can jump into a reality where that's always been your normal and it has no weirdness to it at all, right? I think of it often where if you had grown up with millionaire parents and you had constant abundance and all these things always there and there was never a lack, it was always just being refilled and replenished, you would probably just believe that money loves you and money comes easily because that was what was programmed into you at a very young age. But most of us didn't experience really healthy, supportive, balanced, abundant upbringings. Most of us had different traumas and pains associated with it, or we saw the chaos that maybe money created between our parents, or the arguments or the stress when it wasn't coming in the same way, right? But if you can program that in a new way to support you, then you are shifting your entire reality, your entire identity, and the outcome of what can come into your life. So this is all stuff that I teach inside Overflow, which is one of my quantum healing hypnosis bundles. And I dive into so much more than what I've even talked about in this video here today, with like raising your energetic minimums and maximums and creating safety in your nervous system towards money and towards those bigger amounts. Really seeing yourself expanding into what it is you want and grounding that in to your body as well as to the earth. We look at the masculine role, or the role of the masculine energy in terms of money and in terms of safety around that, because if you struggle feeling safe around the masculine, and money is a generally masculine energy, it holds a lot of the same characteristics. If you struggle feeling safe to receive, then that will be reflected in your relationship to money as well. So I teach all of this, and I have incredible quantum healing hypnosis activations in there so that you could get into a nice meditative state, relax, and reprogram yourself for a new money blueprint. And as I said, the link for that is in the description down below if you want to check it out. This work has changed my life. It's what I have done every single time for the 10K, the 20K, and the 60K, which I didn't even talk about here, but more of the processes that I use for that one are also included in the quantum healing hypnosis bundle inside Overflow, which was also reprogramming the crystalline womb and using that feminine power to receive and magnetize the income that you desire and hold space and nurture it as it comes, and so much more. So I hope to see you inside, and yeah, really excited for you to change your money story and start attracting and holding what you desire, what you deserve, and really creating a life that you love with that. So I will see you on the inside. I'm sending you so much love, and we will talk again soon.